Welcome to Evil Knows. New Mexico, USA, Cowboy Land, home of Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett. But was the cowboy era really that cool back then? Or was it tough and evil? To find out, Evil Jared meets Wes, a real present-day cowboy. Wes's mission? To guide evil, real and unfaked, through the cowboy's everyday life of 150 years ago.
Wes, thanks for inviting me out on the ranch here. I had kind of a rednecky upbringing, but I've never really done any cowboy stuff. But the movies I've seen, like Unforgiven and El Dorado and Back to the Future Part 3, it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, except for all the broke backing.
Well, I don't know about fun. It's a lot of hard work. Late nights and early mornings, lots of heat, not a lot of water. And I'll tell you, you'll be dirtier than you've ever been in your life at the end of the day.
For the next 3 days, Evil will live just like the cowboys of yesteryear. That means riding for hours at heat topping 40 degrees Celsius, driving stubborn cattle, and wrangling wild young bulls. He will be fending for himself in the wilderness and spend his nights in the open, despite rattlesnakes and whatever else is running around out there. And he'll check out what it's like for a cowboy to operate on himself, for lack of any medical attention.
Ah, who do we have here?
This is Cloud.
Ah, hello, Cloud. Cloud fairly well behaved?
Yeah, he's a pretty good horse.
You know, I went to riding camp when I was like 10, but in the past 30 years, not so many.
Well, then this horse is the perfect one for you, because he's a good boy.
All right, good. All right. So, Cloud, you look here. You be good to me. I'll be good to you. You don't screw with me, and I won't have to kick you in the flank. It's been about 30 years, but it feels pretty good up here. Doesn't feel like I'm going to fall off or anything. It feels pretty sturdy. Sort of like being on a motorcycle if the motorcycle had training wheels.
Off into the wild, 150 years back to the Wild West. The challenge? To live for 3 days like a real cowboy. First task, and a cowboy's most important, driving cattle. Evil and Wes have to drive this herd more than 30 kilometers through the desert to the branding station. Longhorn versus Greenhorn.
Now, back in the day, the ranchers would herd 2,000 to 3,000 head at a time. I don't even know what we're going to make with the couple dozen we got here. What do we got to do with these guys?
Well, Jared, there's 3 main points to driving cattle.
Okay.
The first one is being in the right position. You're in the right position because we're going to be behind the cattle, because when they're behind them, you're driving them away from you. They'll move away from you. The second point is pressure. So you don't want to put too much pressure on them, because if you do, then they might run off or they might scatter, and that's a wreck.
Okay, that'll be a mess, right?
Yes, sir. And then the third one is you always watch your cattle, because sometimes you're just going along and you kind of fall asleep and one of them just runs off and you don't even know it. So you always got to keep your eyes on them.
All right, so position, pressure, and eyes on the stakes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, sure it's easier said than done, but yeah, let's give it a shot.
All right, let's do it. All right, Jared, you're going to go on this side right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to go on this side.
Okay, which way are we pushing them?
We're going to push them right down this here road right here.
Okay.
The pace then is now deliberately slow and easy. On no account should the cattle lose any weight during the trek, for every pound of meat means hard cash.
Well, the herding the cows isn't as weird as I thought it would be. I figured the cows would be running all over the freaking place, but as long as you get a couple of them to go where you want them to, the other of them kind of follow along in like a herd mentality.
But why did cowboys even have to drive cattle through the region? Quite simple. Around 1865, there was a huge surplus of cattle in Texas, in the American South, and the price of meat was extremely low. On the other hand, beef was scarce in the North. Clever southern ranchers came up with the idea of selling their cattle more expensively in the North. The problem? There was no railroad into the South from the North. The cattle first had to be driven hundreds of miles to the next railroad station, giving rise to a new profession, the cowboy. Rookie Cowboy Evil is meanwhile struggling with the extreme heat, the dust, and the cattle, which suddenly no longer want to go where they should.
Oh, we got a couple.
I'll go after him. All right, go. Cloud, come on. Get these guys.
Can Evil round up the runaways?
Come on.
No